This is TWiT.
Elon Musk in the news this week. And I don't really want to say anything except just leave Elon alone, folks. Poor guy's just been going through hell. Elon Musk, according to the New York Times, details excruciating personal toll of Tesla turmoil. Nice alliteration, New York Times. He says, this has been the most difficult and painful year of my career. It was excruciating. In this, he talks about working 120 hours a week. Is that even possible?
Just barely. I mean, that's 3 normal work weeks, so that's 3 times 8 hours a day.
That really means no sleep at all.
Well, you can take weekends off.
Oh, weekends.
If you work continuously from Monday to Friday.
Okay. He also admits to taking a little Ambien from time to sleep because he can't sleep. Maybe explaining the weird tweets. He scared. I mean, investors were a little nervous after this interview. They were also nervous after his tweet in which he said, "I've got money to take Tesla private." And it turned out the funding secured wasn't exactly true, but apparently it was investment by the Saudi government investment fund.
Isn't there some kind of rule that says he can't make these kinds of announcements over Twitter?
Oh, yeah. He's being investigated right now by the Securities and Exchange Commission because the stock price, he said, we're going to buy him back at $420 a share, which sounds like he's a stoner. But anyway, and all of a sudden the stock price, which was at, what, $414 or something, went up. And he made lots of money and then didn't do it. And SEC says, dude, can we just say, let's just everybody stop tweeting right now. This is not ending well for anybody.
Well, for Elon Musk, certainly. I mean, when he started calling people pedophiles over the submarine thing, it was already a problem. Now, it seems like really I guess what he should stop doing, maybe stop tweeting.
That's all.
But also stop working 120 hours weeks. Yeah. That doesn't seem to be going well for him.
Stop giving interviews. Stop taking Ambien. Stop tweeting. There's my prescription. Kara Swisher wrote an opinion piece for the New York Times. Let me answer the question many are thinking. Is Elon crazy? She says, no, he's a human being. And you know what? Elon has said things like, look, there are only 2 companies in America that didn't go bankrupt, 2 auto companies, Ford and Tesla. He's making a car that many agree the Tesla Model 3 is the best electric car ever made. It would go a long way, Elon, if you just, kind of keep under the radar and be crazy like the rest of us in private.
I wonder why he wouldn't do that. Maybe he's just so tired that he can't tell.
He's too tired.
Well, it's pretty good. It's also a pretty good promotion too, right?
You think it's good promotion or is it bad promotion? Doesn't it make people nervous?
For a while, it was entertaining. Lately,
yeah, I think for a long while it was definitely entertaining. Yeah, as Harry said, I think only recently he seems to have really veered off the rails, and it just underscores this idea that there's very little upside to tweeting unless you're trying to just stir some trouble up and get people mad at you. Then I don't really see the purpose of going on to Twitter. At this point, Twitter's just this cesspool of hate and trolls, and I think Elon Musk probably gets a little bit of entertainment out of that. But it's also, it's cost him a lot in the past couple of months, and I think that he's probably finally coming to this realization. But certainly it's keeping his name in the news, right?
But that's not necessary. I mean, maybe if you're Donald Trump, that's a good thing, but not if you're Elon Musk and you're trying to sell cars and reassure investors. I think, and then what's this about Azalea getting lost in his house? And there's just too much weird stuff going on. This isn't good. Just, we all have weird stuff going on, but we don't publicize it, right? Patrick, I know you've got weird things going on in your house, but you don't tell the world.
I don't publicize those. They're just pictures of cute babies. That's all I do.
Yes.
But no, I mean, honestly, for the past few years, he has been using social media in a very efficient way. I'm talking about Elon Musk now. Yeah. It's only in the past month that he's really gone from, this Tony Stark Iron Man character to, is he taking medicine he shouldn't be taking? And I think that's possible to correct. He's just been having trouble, I guess, for a month, but it doesn't mean that he can't use Twitter and social media in a positive way. Until then, it was keeping him in the news in the positive light. So I think it's possible. He's just been doing a bad job at it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but where I draw the line is like this pedophilia stuff. There's been a lot of really erratic behavior in the past couple of months, and so we shouldn't just gloss over, some of his public behavior. I think that it really deserves holding this person accountable. I think the investors certainly deserve that much, and I think that even just like the general public, if you're going to be a billionaire and finance all of these really, these really big goals, I think that's great. I think that it's awesome that he's trying to privatize space. It's awesome that he's trying to develop all of these new technologies, including making the electric car, more mainstream. But to call a rescuer a pedophile and to do some of and also the attacks against the media, I think there's certain behavior that is just it just crosses the line for me, and I start to lose faith in this person as a good leader, as someone that I look up to, and I start to just think of him as kind of a madman. This is someone that's egotistical, narcissistic, and just ultimately thinks that he's always in the right, even when he doesn't deliver on some of his promises, because that's also been the case with a few of his companies at this point.
I have to say, first of all, Twitter is addictive. It's like crack. I can understand, you just got to tweet. You just got to tweet in the middle of the night, whenever you got to tweet. It's also, as a media entity, this kind of behavior is addictive.
You think so?
It's hard not to cover it. I didn't want to cover it. I was going to say leave Elon alone and move on. But it's fascinating in weird ways. Kara Swisher writes in the New York Times, she says, people ask me all the time now, is Elon crazy? No, he's not. Not at least in my various encounters with him over nearly 2 decades, including recently, in which he has been alternately funny, rude, compelling, obnoxious, accessible, easy to deal with, hard to deal with, always on, outspoken to a fault, even when he might be at fault, angry, charming, intense, also strikingly confident, deeply human with all the positive and negative characteristics. I don't think that really answers the question. He gave a great interview, I thought, with Marquez Brownlee on YouTube, but that was all about the Tesla and the factory, and stick to that, Elon, you're doing great. And then there's this weird story, and I think this is just people hopping on the musician Azalea Banks on Instagram, posting a bunch of weird, increasingly odd posts about being trapped in his house. I waited around all weekend, she tweeted, these have all been deleted, while Grimes coddled her boyfriend for being too stupid to know not to go on Twitter while on acid, which is completely possible that that's what's going on. I don't know. Staying at Elon Musk's house has been like a real-life episode of Get Out. His humanoid group emerged, crawled out of the Caucasus cave system 15,000 years ago after the first Caucasian Homo sapiens did. Now I don't know what's going on. And then pork skin was the last tweet. So it's just...
I mean, I think this is veering into, People's Magazine.
It is worse than that. Yeah, sensationalism. Yeah.
But he has been behaving erratically, and it shows on Twitter. But I think it's been dealt with maybe not dealt with, but the reaction, he didn't get a pass. Everyone has been very concerned by what he has been tweeting, yes, right. and very likely for this latest stock price episode, he's going to be in serious. At least there are going to be legal questions. So I think it's happening the way it should be, and hopefully he will manage to get back to a normal behavior. And if he doesn't, we might write him off. But for now, things are going the way they should, I think.
Yeah.
If Twitter did not exist, would people be fascinated by Elon Musk, or would
That's what I mean.
85% of the things that people find interesting about him just not be apparent to us?
Right.
And I completely agree.
It's like a double-edged sword. He got benefit from it, as you pointed out, Michael, but now it's not benefiting him, and I don't know.
Well, and also, I also wanted to just say that I don't think Elon Musk deserves that much praise at this point. We still don't have our $30,000 electric car. We still don't have, I think he goes onto Twitter and he makes these really big promises for all of the companies that he's running, but he often falls short of those promises. And I just don't see, I think he deserves some credit for trying. that's certainly really great. That's a commendable, commendable behavior from an entrepreneur. Okay, so he's trying to reach the moon. He's trying to reach Mars. He's trying to build an electric car that everyone can afford. The reality is he hasn't done any of those things, and so I think that we, in addition to the erratic behavior,
those things are hard. You don't expect him to be on Mars tomorrow.
Yeah,
no, I don't.
I would say he hasn't done.
He landed 2 rocket launchers in tandem, and he did some pretty good stuff.
Tesla and SpaceX are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But he has fallen short of his self-defined goals.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Arguably, he's moved the entire auto industry into developing electric cars. And at the very least, his cars are reality. And what they do would have seemed unimaginable 10 years ago. Yeah. So I think it's a little bit unfair to say he has done nothing.
No, he's
delivered on all of his promises. No. But he has still, I think the most disappointing thing is that, as I was saying, he was this figure of hope, of like science triumphant. And the voluntarism of man triumphing over the difficult odds of nature. And now we're finding out he might be insane, which is a little bit disappointing. But the book is not written on him yet.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Elon could recover if he just gets off Twitter now.
He doesn't seem insane. It's just that it's all out there.
Right. It's all out there. And that's one thing you maybe don't want.
And I can't understand why he's letting it all out there if he's under control of himself.
Well, he's under a lot of stress. He's working really hard. Also, don't forget, Elon thinks this is all a simulation. And if you're in a simulation, it doesn't really matter what you do, right? Have some fun. I think part of Elon's real courage. Jason Calacanis, who's a friend of his, did not want to speak for him, but was here a couple of weeks ago. Said, you got to understand, Elon was at one point not only flat broke, but owed hundreds of millions of dollars. After he made all that money at PayPal, started SpaceX, started Tesla, he was deeply underwater and fought back and created something. And I think that if you have the kind of courage to put it all on black, put it all on red, and just let it ride, that Elon Musk has, it helps if you think it's all a simulation. It gives you some false courage. I admire the guy. I should say I own a Tesla. I will buy another Tesla when this one, the lease runs out on this one. I think they're great cars. And okay, so my initial intent to say leave Elon alone, completely shot.